Okay, so good morning, everyone. And I think this is your first class in the IIT. And I think you might have seen this picture, right? Just to start the lecture, I just show this so that your mind is cool and calm, right, in the morning, and so that we can talk about few things. So before starting the lecture, I would like to ask you, how many of you know what we are going to talk about? Any idea? Calculus. And you might be having impression from your quota coaching class or whatever it is that calculus you know very well, right? Because otherwise, how will you prepare for the exam, right? But you will see that I have kept the title. Every year I change the title. This year I kept it. So earlier I used to keep it calculus, where are you, right? So you need to find where it is. Now, calculus for and beyond IITJEE. So you will see that there are problems which I'm going to give you, which will shake your brain. And of course, you will enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. And and also why we should do that. So actually, probably today and the next class in this week, we are only going to talk about stories. Okay, so that you really understand what we are doing, why we are doing, and so on and so forth before starting into mathematical part, right? So all these lectures are available on YouTube, so you can watch anytime, right? So I think I'll share that link to you. The WhatsApp group of the course for both the section is same, so you should join that also. I hope now you will circulate the link, okay? And so let me start. So this course, by the way, what are these three pictures? Any idea? What is the first picture? Binary register of a computer, right? What is the right hand side? Huh? What? Domain? No. So this is the register of so left hand side is the register of a classical computer that he used today, right? Right hand side is a register of a quantum computer. I think you must have heard about quantum computing quite a lot. And in the middle, what is that? So DNA computer. So all those three different architecture for computer science. I like these things, so that's why, because I will show you uh, the whole world is all about information processing, and that's why calculus is very, very important. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about some administrative details about the course. Obviously, some of these things will be there. So I think you are doing too many courses, by the way, right? So introduction to ICT, I hope you are doing. I will still give you some brief idea about ICT. Language and literature, I think you must be doing. So are you doing English language, right? Or I don't know. Anyway, calculus, we are going to look at it. Programming is something beautiful thing, and electronics is also a very beautiful thing, right? So you will see why these things are important. And so actually, in the two lectures, I'm going to only talk about few basic things about all these courses actually. I mean, this is all about me, Manish Kumar Gupta. I think my name is Manish Kumar Gupta. You can see. By the way, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to get all the videos. So I am instructor for section A, and for section B, we have Sudeep Bera. Okay. So by the way, office hours. So we are always available on Calculus Man Ki Baat WhatsApp group, right? Where you can talk about your Man Ki Baat, about anything you have about calculus, you can discuss on WhatsApp group, right? Both of us will be available on that WhatsApp group. So these are the offices. There are some teaching assistants and tutors. Mukesh is the PhD student. 3 students are there from the BTech, senior BTech, 4th year. And I think 2 more are there. I forgot to add their name. So there are total 6 people. Okay. who will assist you in the tutorials. Academic calendar, this is something very important, right? So you see that today is 14th August. There's certain main things. So first semester exam is on from 18th September to 22nd September. So I hope you can make your plan that you are there. Second midterm exam is from 30th October to 3rd November. And this is a break. And in this semester break, you will enjoy project, calculus project, okay? For those 10 days, you can do something, some application, right? So that you really learn hands-on things, right? And then of course, course evolution and end semester exam is from 20th December to 27th December. So, by the way, there are 3 exams in our course. We can talk about it briefly, the grading policy as well. Timings, I think you know. Tutorials will happen in as per groups. I don't know whether you have group information yet, but anyway, so this week we are not going to do any tutorials. So next week, right? So you have enough time. This will happen in CP building, 102 and 110 room, right? So section B, slot 6, which is lecture theater 3. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Thursday we have sort of 9 to 10, 10 to 11, neck to neck, right? Anyway, overview. So obviously I will convince you in a few minutes that this exciting course is foundation to your ICT degree or ICT CS degree or whatever degree you do on the planet. Basic calculus of real variables, calculus of complex variables, differential equations, and some applications. You know, this is a broader overview. Okay. So this is timeline. You can see that test 1 will happen September 18 to September 22. This is a rough division because, you know, I'm not sure how this thing will happen. Sometimes there will be holiday or something, so, you know, all kind of things. So this is a rough, you know, schedule. By the way, in the exams, we have a very nice, beautiful exams. Only 4 questions because 4 to 5 weeks, you know, I just sample 1 question from each week, right? So I'll give you all enough sample papers about 5, 6 and so on from the previous years, right? How to solve and how to write the question, you know, exam, that also I will share with you, right? So that you have no difficulty in that. Okay. And then, so test 2, test 1, test 2, test 3, all are having 4 questions only. First question is very easy. Anybody can do it. 2 questions are of medium difficulty. And 1 question is beautiful question, means you have to think, right? So not everybody will be able to do it, but whosoever is able to do it, so I have to filter the cream also, right? So it will scale everything. Anyway, so I think that's about exam. So as I mentioned, the calculus and the startup week. So you have to think about some applications of calculus in your daily life and, you know, build some product or something like that, you know. And think also its commercial value. We'll talk about Deepavali assignment later on also. So these are your holidays. This is the grading policy. And remember, it is tentative grading policy to be on the safer side, because tomorrow you may say that you have changed it. And I do change because of many reasons, right? For example, so test 1 is 20%, test 2 is 20%, test 3 is 30%. There could be surprise quiz anytime, anywhere, either in the classes or it could be in the tutorials, anywhere, right? And this 20% to the project, where you have to make video, write a report in LaTeX. How many of you know about LaTeX? Okay, 2, 3 now. Okay, good. So that everybody should know. LaTeX is a programming language for writing mathematical stuff, right? Make a wiki page and so on and so forth. You know, we'll talk about it later on more about the project. Tutorials, there will be 1 tutorial per week. So basically, for each group, so 2 groups, 1 to 12, 2 groups to 1 to 12, right? So 1 to 12 will be there for who. I don't want you to submit. These days, people will try to use Chat GPT and so on and so forth. In some cases, you may be able to find, but remember, many times I take quiz, open Google, open Chat GPT. So you will not find anything anywhere. You have to use your brain. Okay, so that challenge will be there. Okay, and by the way, this calculus man ki baat WhatsApp group where you can talk about calculus. As I mentioned, many times I can change grading policy. Suppose there is attendance is very low, I may take suddenly a quiz, right? And then once in a while, I mean, couple of years ago, I took one quiz and assigned 40% weightage. So after that, nobody ever missed any classes for the next couple of generations, right? So that is always there. Surprise can happen anytime. By the way, there is a responsibility for you. So there is a form. Suppose you are sick or there is a situation which is beyond your control, you can fill this form. It's a very simple Google form, that saying that I am not available for today's class or tutorials, right? For whatsoever reason, I mean, you can click on this form. You will see that. I will share the link in the WhatsApp group as well, but at least, so here, which date to which date you are not there. Suppose you, for the whole night, you are doing programming and you're not able to come to the class, which is perfectly fine to me. Just say that I was doing programming, right? That's okay with me, right? So I will give you full credit, no problem, right? But you do report. What happens, there is a database. Tomorrow, if some quiz happens and say that if you have not reported earlier, then you have no claim for anything, right? So this reporting procedure you have to follow. As I mentioned, I will supply lecture notes, and I think Professor Sudeep Bera will also supply some lecture notes. So there are 2 additional, too much material to read. My lectures are available on YouTube, so you can actually watch anytime, any number of times, and so on and so forth. Books. Have you heard of any of these books? Probably Thomas Calculus, right? Yeah, so people who go for US studies, they do AP exam, right? So they study from Thomas Calculus, pretty standard book. By the way, Thomas Calculus we will finish in 2-3 weeks. Okay. Because to me, it's a very trivial book. But for engineers, they keep it like this. So these are the basic is one standard book for engineering mathematics. And this Archigen and Anger, this is Archigen from IIT Delhi actually. So this book is why I have given this book. This has all the material at one place. So you don't have to go here and there, right? Especially the second book, and to some extent third book. So Thomas Calculus, I feel you can have it, or whatever you can, sort of must have these 2 books as well, right? But there will be again reading advice every week. In fact, I have made a list of certain standard books which probably you have not seen, right? So these are the pretty standard thing you can have. Probably second one is the best one. Towards the end of the lecture, I will give you reading assignment from Thomas Calculus book, reading some sections, which is very easy, you know about it. So I'm just, for the recall purpose, I will ask you to read it. These are the supplementary books. So these are for what kind of people who are super excited, who want to be leaders. They are going to look at these books, right? Otherwise, the first 3 books are okay. I mean, you can find everything there. Okay. So for example, G.H. Hardy Course on Pure Mathematics, beautiful book. I still have my copy. I purchased it for ₹10, Hindi edition, because I did all my education in Hindi, right? So that is there. Course on Modern Analysis, Whitcomb Watson, beautiful book. Hobson, Principia Mathematica by Newton himself. Okay, you can look at it. Bromwich Infinite Series, Divergence Series, about series. Goldberg is a beautiful book, Methods of Real Analysis. Then there are Sham, outlines of some vector analysis, advanced calculus, complex variables. Tishmarsh is a very beautiful book for complex theory of functions. This is E.T. Cobson, Tishmarsh. Michael S.P. Walk, calculus on. By the way, you should know that calculus is the subject which is studied most For, no matter which degree you take up, you will do calculus. Why it's such important? I think about 2-3 million people in, maybe 3 million people in US, they do every year calculus. So in India also, I hope this number will be very large. So if you want to become rich, you can write a book on calculus and you will be rich, right? So that is one nice thing. Anyway, Michael Spivak, I think he earned, a couple of millions of dollars by writing a book on calculus. Anyway, then there are differential equations, partial differential equations. This book is must read for everyone, everyday calculus. I'll show you the picture. Don't worry about it. And then Fourier and Laplace transform. So these are some standard books. I'm saying these are the standard books for the material. So if you have more Shraddha towards the subject, right, or you have love affair with mathematics, you can actually look at it. Okay. So that is, you can look at some of these books. Okay, this is the course webpage which we will share you with on WhatsApp. So don't worry about it. You need to register. So what is the basic objective? So developing a thinking process for solving difficult problems. This is something, we need to have a clear-cut thing. Understanding limit, continuity, differentiability, integration for real and complex variables, solving ordinary partial differential equation, and some applications about Laplace and Fourier transform. This is the basic broad overview, objective of the. Later you will see how we can apply calculus in almost any real-world engineering problems, okay? Okay, so this is one section. Any question on the administrative part? Grading questions, anything? Everything is okay? Some warning now. About 8 to 10 slides about warning and what you should do. This I have learned from the students over the years, right? What kind of mistakes they do. And so I have thought that maybe I should list all of them so that you should not repeat it. Right? By the way, this is something I follow the same thing. I don't give you fish, but I will teach you how to catch fish if you're non-vegetarian. But otherwise, whatever, right? So you should know how to grow your food, right? That is important. First, academic integrity and honesty. So do not copy paste your homeworks. Cheating will result in a failure in many places. You are allowed to encourage to discuss among your peers and anyone, but do not copy the solution. Be careful while making PPTs. In fact, what happens in most of the Indian schools, they don't teach how to make presentations, right? You might have made a lot of, presentations, but just copy paste anything from the Google and then paste it, right? That's how you probably make the presentation. But there are certain permissions you need to take sometime, or as per the user's policy and so on. So familiarize yourself with copyright and privacy policies. Be careful while using ChatGPT, etc. as well, because there are tools which can detect if you have used ChatGPT. However, I don't have to worry about ChatGPT anything, right? Because my problems you will not be able to do otherwise also, right? So that is the issue. Okay, now advice on problem solving. There is a very nice book by George Polya. He's a famous mathematician. How to solve it. So it's a system of thinking which can help you solve any problem. If you cannot solve a problem, then there is an easier problem you can solve it, find it. Or if you cannot solve the proposed problem, try to solve first some related problem. Could you imagine a more accessible related problem? This is the approach you need to do. I'm just giving you the summary. If you want, you can read the whole book. How to approach difficult problem. Because what happens many times when you are an engineer, things are not like as a textbook thing, right? Some unknown problems will come and you have to find a solution, right? How to approach, that is very, very important. Now, common mistakes. The first mistake that students do is the following. Do not go to the class as first year is rest year. Very common because you have done so much hard work till now. Now it's a rest year time, at least, right? And then they mismanage their CPI. Study only from exam point of view. This is a very common problem. Towards the exam, they will start reading things, and then it's too late. In fact, I have done the similar mistake. I remember when I went to IIT Kanpur first time, I used to love mathematics. So I thought mathematics I can do anytime. I was doing something else. And then finally there was exam. And I started looking at the question paper, the syllabus in one night. How much you can do? Only, limited, and there is a problem, right? So this is a very common thing. Only study from the exam point of view towards the end. That is something not good. You study towards the exam date, basically. I'm receive advice from bad seniors. So you should listen to some good seniors. CPI, cumulative performance index, you might have seen, right? Out of 10. Thinking that CPI is not important, by the way, if some company will come. I think Google is not asking for CPI anymore, but Microsoft will say that I want all people who have CPI more than 8. So you are out if you don't have that, right? So many companies have that kind of thing. By the way, too much CPI is also bad. So I love people who have CPI from 7 to 8.5. That range I like. More than 8.5, I don't care. And less than 7, I don't care. I mean, that is a very good people, That is my observation. So if you have two good CPI, because I had one student with me who had 10 pointer, right? Who was 10 pointer. He could not get into any company. It was very difficult for him to get admission. Only one university he got after a lot of hard work. So people expect too much if you are too good, right? So 8 is very good, average. 8 is very good, right? So means okay, consistent person is good because they have some other things to do. Otherwise, people are only worrying about CPI, right? So, but as I mentioned, so if you have aspiration of, you know, sitting for a company, they will ask for the CPI. By the way, all the great people in the world, for example, Thomas Alva Edison kicked off the school, right? And then Albert Einstein, all kind of people are there, right? So because the education system is not for them, right? So there are those kind of people also there. People who are drop out, right? But sometimes study in a group is very good thing. So basically, what I suggest in all your courses, in the evening, just pick up a cup of tea and try to discuss what was there in each class. And if there are some difficulties, just solve along among yourself, right? Discuss. Somebody will be knowing, because what happens in a large class, not everybody will be able to understand everything because the pace is different for everyone, right? So if you discuss first, then most of the cases, 75, 80% time you will resolve the problem there itself. So you are free. Next day you go to the class, you understand everything. And so that's how you can go ahead, right? That is very easy. So on Saturday, Sunday, you can just make sure that by every weekend, all your doubts are clear in each of the courses. And the group study is very good option. Not reading the textbook, that is a problem. Only studying few courses. This is also very common because now they have freedom to just play games as much. So I say that you write a game, right? Why to play a game? And some common, I could not get admission in computer science, so I will not study this ICT business, right? I will tell you why. Okay. So a good plan for BTech. First year, particularly first semester, actually, I would say, just focus on study. You will not get extra time for extra activity because you are new to the system. It is different than a schooling system, right? So here, many times there are certain things which are given to you and you have to do it, right? Nobody is after you. If you don't do, nobody will care, right? And so you have to face the music after that, so that's better that it's a good thing that you actually focus on studies. After that, you will get enough time for doing many extra things, right? Because then you understand the system after first semester. Okay. Programming language is very, very important. I would expect you will write at least 30,000 lines of code in whatever choice of language you choose. It's very important. This you can do in any track, either December or summer. Normally, some of my students have done programming with the, something around 40,000 lines of code, 45,000 lines of code. They have developed the whole product and their programming is very solid. They are really strong people technically, right? So that not everybody does this in anywhere in BTech program, not only in India, abroad also. If you do this habit, but you see the people who have done great in their life, they have this passion of programming, right? So you should be able to write and build a product which you can, So then you become technical leader. Because when you write large program, 40,000 lines of code, your complexity is really big. Many times, actually, in BTech, people complete their BTech program, and if you ask them how many lines of code they have written, they say there are only 1,000 lines of code for the whole BTech. Means they don't know anything actually in programming, right? So this is something you should focus on. Projects could be something like that. Can you make FTP, file transfer protocol? Can you write a program for that? Or can you, make a browser of your name, right? Web browser. Can you make a web browser? Can you make a web server? Well, these are the kind of projects you should take. I'm giving you examples. And now when you do these kind of things, it takes a lot of time, many times 2 years continuously, apart from doing all other things, and then your confidence is really great. Okay. So you require strong, beautiful skills like mathematical skills, right? Anyway. Of course, sleeping is also important. Explore everything. On weekends, go to the library. I will show you what you do in the library actually. Only on weekend. Okay. After BTech, people expect good CPI from you, strong fundamentals, strong programming skills, strong in one specialization. Now I'll show you some case studies. And these are all case studies from DICT only. All my students, I'll show you, right? So what you do in these 4 years will determine your future. Of course, these are 9 case studies. Case 1, there are 2 students of mine who after BTech got PhD admission in PhD program, with high scholarship, $67 scholarship, Muskan Kukreja, and Shalin Shah, $84,000 per year in 2015. So when you work on interdisciplinary PhD areas, and after BTech it is possible, directly you can go into PhD program, right? So that is something, that path is open. There are many people. Muskan was working in Microsoft for a long period. Now he switched to some other company. And Shalin is working in Bloomberg, New York. Many have joined good companies like Google, IBM, Microsoft. Very few. See, there are patterns, right? Many have joined normal PhD and master's program. Normal PhD scholarship is around $20,000, $30,000 per year. Those are special scholarships, right? Many have joined IIMs for MBA and other places as well. Many have joined normal company job. Many have started their own company. There are many students of DICT who started a lot of companies. In fact, we helped about 19 companies here. One of the students, Vaibhav Jain, he got $169 million funding. Okay, and he moved to Silicon Valley. Okay, so his company, below you can check. Okay, the student from DICT. Many go for civil services, which is okay. Many are confused, still discovering themselves after 4 years. This is quite possible. But that's okay, I mean, you need to find a path. By the way, there is another category. One of my students, I am only giving examples of my students. I'm not talking about all others. There are so many other students who became sadhu also. Okay. So he got admission into Iowa State University with very good scholarship, around $50,000 or something. But he left that program and he became sadhu. You can meet him in ISKCON temple. So after BTech. So that is also a path. Okay, at IIT Kanpur also, I remember many good students, JEE rank 1, 2, 3, they became sadhu after that. Okay, so that is the ultimate thing. Okay, so anyway, so I hope you know where is your future. Now, for higher studies, I should mention that if you need to make a strong profile. Many times you want to go for higher studies, masters or whatever, PhD. So there is a Education USA. This is official US government center which provides information. Its office is in Ahmedabad. You can actually check. For France, there is a Campus France. You can check that. For Germany, there is a DAD. Okay. Some courses you must do which are not part of your syllabus. But I encourage you, if you really want to become a technical leader, right? So a course on biology by Eric Lander, Secrets of Life. It's a very beautiful course. You will love biology. Okay. Eric Lander is a professor at MIT. He did PhD in mathematics, and it is because of him the entire biotechnology shaped. It took a different shape altogether. So it's a really nice. You can actually, there are waivers also available if you don't want certificate, right? If you want certificate without paying fees, I think you can actually apply for waiver, but there is a procedure for that. You can find it out. It's a good course, must course for everyone. By the way, you should ask your small kids in your house who are in high school to take this course. In India, there is a distinction between biology and computer science. Either you take medical or you take, but that is not the case really. It's very bad scenario. So this is must course for everyone. Okay. So whenever you are free, you can do it, and it will be on your profile. So what I mean by profile? Kaggle certification. Have you heard of Kaggle certification? Kaggle, it's a nice. It's a now Google's sister company, which provides. There are about 16 courses, small courses, 5-6 hours each. Basics of machine learning, you can start from here actually, Kaggle certification. So you should do this. This is not in the courses, right? So what I'm saying that you should actually do this side by side. And believe me, you can do this course in 4 or 5 days at most in a one stretch, okay? And there are some Kaggle competitions also where you can win a big prize money also if you really participate in with the real data and so on and so forth. Andrew Ng courses, this is very important courses. Andrew Ng is a professor at Stanford on machine learning. There are 3 courses which you should do actually. It's a very, very important one. Because see, these skills are required in your profile. Some of these things are not taught anywhere in the BTech programming. Some of them are emerging things, right? So you need to learn them. Because the syllabus change takes time in universities, but things will not stop for you, right? IBM Qiskit program. So IBM Qiskit certification you can do for quantum computing, okay? Prompt engineering, how many of you know about prompt engineering? Okay, very good. There are 2-3 people. Have you done a course? Okay, so this course you should do. Now I think it is free, but maybe they will charge. Again, this is from Andrew Ng, ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers, So how do you ask something to ChatGPT, right? So there are a lot of interesting problems. Even how will you do mathematics with ChatGPT? All kind of things are there, right? So at least you should do some basic course. This is only for 4 hours course, okay? So what are the skills important? When I said that you should have a skill development, forget about your degree. These days, whether you are BTech in chemical, civil, mechanical, electrical, computer science, ICT, non-ICT, whatever, you should have these skills. What are these skills? Reading skills. How many of you have reading habits? Very good. Books or online? Very good. So how many hours? I think you know that Warren Buffett has said that you should read 500 pages every day, right? So that is the kind of, because if you want to become that much rich, you will read that much, right? All good people have very good reading skills. Number one thing, which is missing in many students. Presentation skills. You don't know how to present yourself. This is very important. Communication skills, how to talk to each other. Interdisciplinary approach is something which is very, very important. You should not shut your door. Biology, I don't want to do. Chemistry, I don't want to do. Physics, I don't. When you want to create a product or technology, you require everything. Okay. So you should have a 360-degree view of everything and very strong in at least one area, right? So that helps you in contributing when you create something nice, right? Solid mathematical skills. These are the beautiful skills. I will talk about it. Hands-on approach, building something, the programming, as I mentioned, at least 50,000 lines of code you should write. Financial skills, many people, how many of you know how to see the balance sheet? No idea? So no, if you become an engineer or you have a startup, you don't know how to see the balance sheets. There's a problem in the education system, right? You don't have this experience. So you should learn that. Managerial skills, how to manage many things. Entrepreneurial approach. Self-learning is very important. I showed you the Chinese proverb, right? You should have self-learning habit. Nobody can spoon feed every time to you, right? But self-learning is very important. And last point is very important. It is how to handle failures. This is not taught in our Indian education system, right? Parents always expect that you are going to do great things. No failure allowed, right? But I give you an opportunity in this class कि fail होके दिखाओ. So for example, test 1 में पूरा fail हो गया, right? All absolute zero. And now can you convert it back to full AA grade? I will give you an opportunity, and whether you can take it, that is up to you. But that ability is very, very important. Fail हो करके success को achieve करना दोबारा, right? That skill is very important. How to handle failures, okay? Okay, so now finally we are coming to second part, end of the second part. Destiny, how your destiny is decided. Thought gives you feeling, feeling gives you action, action gives you habit, habit gives you attitude, attitude gives you personality, personality gives you destiny. So your thought can change you what you want to become. So if you have good thought, you want to have something, want to achieve, you can achieve that, right? This is a proven thing. Okay. Any question at this point? Now I have to move to the third part. Any question here? Okay. पढ़ना क्यों है? Why education? In Indian education system, in the old Gurukul time, right? People used to have. I think still there are a couple of Gurukuls. One very famous is in Kurukshetra, in Haryana, I guess. Kurukshetra Gurukul, right? And there are many in Varanasi. There are many. I think at the time in 1856 or something, we have more than 7 lakh Gurukuls in India. And at that point of time, from age 5, you enter into the system. By 25, you are out. And you learn many skills. Whole personality development. At that point of time, it was not, okay, मेरे को Google में job मिलेगी क्या? Microsoft में job मिलेगी क्या? That was not the question. It was all your development so that you do whatever you do to the full potential, right? And many of those people do great things. But that is something. But I think now you have this common thing. I think most of you have this in mind to make money, right? Education is for make money, right? Purpose of education. So you want to become leader or worker? How many of you want to become leader? Very good. Very few want to become worker. By the way, as per power law, again a mathematical formula, you will see that only few will become leader and most of them will become worker. And that is also a mathematical fact. Anyway, so bottom line is you should reach your potential, whatever potential you have, right? That is the ultimate goal. That should be the ultimate goal of your education, right? So two important things which I want most of you should have: ability to read or understand anything. Can you read and understand anything? That ability, if you have, it's a very great thing. And ability to execute or implement anything. At the end of the day, if you have these two properties in you, your education is complete, right? Okay. So strong mathematical skills, I mean the beautiful skills, strong hands-on experience and prepares you for the futuristic skills. That should be the experience of education in your 4 years, right? You should have these two very important things, and then finally, futuristic skills you should be ready as well. And that will happen only if you are self-learner, right? If you can learn on your own, then you will do very good. Now I'm going to talk about what is the role of calculus, why we should study calculus. So basically, before that, there are a lot of other things. Very important thing is circle of innovation. What is circle of innovation? One has to do great science, which includes physics, chemistry, mathematics, right? This is catalyst to technology. Technology gives you utility, and utility gives you business, and that generates money, right? You can pump it back to science. This is the whole circle of innovation. If it is broken, there will be a problem in the system, right? So some people are good at science, some people are good at technology, some people are good at utility building, some people are good at business. So they are part of the circle of innovation, and you can find your own role anywhere else. But you should understand this really well, how the circle moves actually. Now science, why great science? Richard W. Hemming once said, in science, if you know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. Right? If you know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. Right? Otherwise, it will be very low quality science, right? So science is the catalyst, source of great ideas, power of imagination, right? So that's why you should look at science. He was a very famous person. It is because of him you are using your laptop and everything, right? Richard W. Hemming. Now, this shlok you must have read. Yatha shikha mayuranam naganam manayotha twadidang shastranam gaditam murdhani sitam, right? You know about this shloka in Vedang Jyotish? किसी ने नहीं सुना? तो फिर क्या मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ा, right? This is the first shloka in Vedang Jyotish, which says that mathematics is supreme among all. Like the crest on the peacock, like the gem on the head of cobra, so is mathematics at the head of all knowledge. There are many mathematicians who have said mathematics is the queen of all science, right? Why they call queen? Because normally in Britain, queen is the topmost person, right? So mathematics is the queen of all science. So it's very, very important. Now I will show you two kinds of mathematicians, poor and rich. Okay, so let me show you. And they are by their choice. Do you know any rich mathematician or any poor mathematician in your mind? By the way, so normally when people do mathematics, they have this tendency of, getting pleasure by themselves, right? So it's like, how many of you looked at Ramcharitmanas? Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas, first page, he has said Swanta Sukhay. इस ग्रंथ की रचना मैं अपने सुख के लिए कर रहा हूँ, right? So there are mathematicians who create mathematics for their own pleasure. They don't worry about the world. Whether you are going to use it, you are not going to use it, they don't care. I mean, of course, if they want, they can make a lot of money, but normally they don't care about money. There are some mathematicians who got $1 million prize also, and they rejected that. Although his life was very poor. Find out who is this person actually. Okay, there is one person who was living on his mother's pension, and he said that you people cannot understand the kind of mathematics I do. So basically, he has not accepted that prize. Now, as I mentioned, so Tulsidas, Swanta Sukhay, right? So free mathematics, you generate mathematics freely and distribute, right? People will use it and make money out of it. And there are other people. So in fact, G.H. Hardy, people used to call pure mathematician. So I have never done anything useful. No discovery of mine has made or is likely to make directly or indirectly for good or ill the least difference to the amity of the world. By the way, all his mathematics turns out to be a great technology now. Okay. So in fact, I say there is no difference between pure mathematics and applied mathematics. Whatever you can sell, that is applied. Whatever you cannot sell, that is pure. Whatever you cannot sell today, you can always sell it tomorrow. So there is no difference between pure and applied mathematics, right? Mathematics is mathematics. It's a beautiful thing, right? If you are selling it, you make money. If you are not selling it, you are not making money. Okay, that is a fact. By the way, there are many things. For example, Ramanujan discovered something which became the backbone of error correction. In 1912, he discovered something. Who worked a lot with Hardy. Then Bahujan Hitaya, Bahujan Sukhay, that philosophy, right? It's not Mayawati slogan, but I'm saying this, these are some mathematicians who have made a lot of money, right? So Rob Kellerman, who was at vice president of AT&T Lab Research. He's IMIC, he's father of storage. He has more than 1100 patents on storage. Whatever you use, hard disk, CD, DVD, all different patents goes to him. Pure mathematician, but selling the mathematics, right? So he's invented a lot of things. Samuel Litsin, pen drive you might have used. He's inventor of that. He's also invented what is known as biological semiconductors. David E. Shah, he made a software which is used by around 70%, 75% drug discovery companies, for discovering a drug. Again, mathematician. All are beautiful mathematicians, right? Nathan Nathan Paul. So he used to. I mean, he started Microsoft Research at one point of time, and he has actually uh, created a company known as Intellectual Ventures. So you have innovation, come to him, and he will actually support. And if it is successful innovation, it means you can sell it. I mean, of course, they will also make money out of it. Then there is Cleve Muller. He is the founder of MATLAB. Have you heard of MATLAB? No. MATLAB is a symbolic computing tool. I think you will use a lot in engineering. He's the founder of that. Samuel Wolfram, he created Mathematica. Okay, so all these people have made a lot of money. They are, I mean, big mathematicians who also sold the mathematics. Okay, so how to get great ideas? On every weekend, go to a library and read periodicals and everything, science, business, technology, history. Read. Right, on all kind of things. Don't stop that I should not read business, or I should not read, technology or whatever, or science. There is a magazines like Nature, Science, Scientific American, all kind of Forbes, right? Different magazines, these periodicals reading. So you go on after breakfast, spend half day, before lunch, 2-3 hours spent in the periodical section and read something. Rather than searching on the Google, that's not a good idea. Go there and read. Because see, whenever reading one magazine, suddenly some other magazine will pop up and you will have some interesting thing to read, right? So it's very, very good thing. Okay, technology, what is technology? So what is engineering? Engineering is all about control of science for the benefit of mankind, right? Now, by the way, again, there is a nice statement by Mr. W. Hemming. In engineering, if you do not know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. In science, if you do not know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. What? Right? So what is the difference? In science, if you know what you are doing, you should not be doing it. In engineering, if you do not know what you are doing, you should not be doing it, right? There is a clear-cut difference, because if you make a plane and you don't know whether it is going to fly, so there is a problem. So engineering approach is different than science, okay? Business is the opportunity to sell your utility. I think you must have heard that Thomas Alva Edison, earlier he used to do innovation just for fun. But later on, when there was money was needed, so his mother asked that get some money. So he invented a voting machine at that point of time, and he could not sell it. And then he said, anything that won't sell, I do not want to invent. Its sale is proof of utility, and utility is success. This is something a very important statement. If you really want to make something which you can sell, then you can create utility for people. So that is how circle of innovation is. Yeah. Now there are a couple of ingredients that are required for innovation to become reality: fertile ground, conducive environment, correct timing, belief in the field, a management team of people who share your passion for the subject, determination, and urge to succeed. Pagalpan, right? That is required if you really want to create something great. So I think there are a couple of skills you should know: how to sell, how to manage people, how to manage money, and domain skills. I mentioned 50,000 lines of code. By the way, I should show here this book. This book you must have on your table, The Art of Computer Programming. It is in 4 or 5 volumes right now, written by Donald E. Knuth, who also created LaTeX programming language. When he started writing this book, he realized that Microsoft Word is not good enough for writing mathematics. So he created his own language, and that is not de facto standard. Or I think 70-80% publication is done there. So there is a statement from Bill Gates. If you think you are a really good programmer, read Knuth's Art of Computer Programming. You should definitely send me your resume. You should definitely send me your resume if you can read the whole thing. Right. The people are really, so there are students like one of my students, Ashwin Jain, he finished in second year about 75% of this book. Believe me, it's not easy book. Beautiful book, by the way. And you see that people find it difficult to read. So because this level is here and this book is here. But if you uplift it, you are the tech leader. Okay, so mathematics of ICT is there to make money. I think I will stop here. If you have any questions, I think so. Next class we will be able to cover the calculus. So there are some about now some slides about ICT and so on. Then some historical development, how calculus is started. By the way, who started calculus? Huh? Huh? Einstein, Newton. Hmm? Well, by the way, calculus originated in India. By you should know that, right? So I will show you how. Okay. Uh, the first textbook of calculus was written in 1530. Name is Yukti Bhasha. So you're not reading Indian things, so of course you don't know anything, right? So, so what happens in 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, you are focusing on JEE, you don't know what is going on, right? In the real world. But anyway, so I'll talk about who invented zero, by the way. Again, wrong. See, people have no idea who did what, right? Basic things. See the standard of mathematics, right? Who invented zero? Who taught you this? Okay. How many of you think your calculus is very good? No, you just clear JEE exam, right? Whatever, right? It must be good, right? Can you do one integration for me? I'm going to ask you in the next class. And this integral is actually for your, so let me write it down. Sine of x cube dx. This is a tea time problem. So normally you can drink a cup of tea and try to solve it. You will find many such tea time problems throughout the course. Sine of x cube, right? So in 1987, I mean 88, 89, 90, I wrote a book on calculus, basically in the problem books. So I have a lot of problems to give you. So you will enjoy the beauty. You will not find solution so easily. At some places, sometime you can find, right? Okay. So this is a very nice tea time problem. I think today I have not given you any tea time problem. So this is something really interesting, right? Sine of x cube. How will you approach, by the way? Sine of x cube. Hmm? Yeah, so try, I think. So I think you should try. I think Thursday we have another class, right? So we'll meet and see who has solved it, right? I hope by the time you will bring, 10, 20 cups of tea or coffee, whatever you like. And you should drink without sugar or you use gur. Gur is very good, right? Okay, so see you in the next class. Okay, thank you. By the way, just share this in the WhatsApp group, all this, so that both sections should be on the same. Then we can send you some information because still your email address is not there, right? Thank you.